Hi there, I'm the Mondo Wolverine and welcome to Jay's Toy Collection UK. Hi there, and welcome to Jay's Toy Collection UK for this world premiere, I'm calling it. So, this box has arrived today from Hasbro Pulse UK, and hopefully it contains the newest figure in the Spider-Man animated series retro VHS line. That's a long name, isn't it? So this is my very super temporary setup, as I'm moving loads of figures around, so I can't actually get to my review table at the moment. So I've laid out some omnibus at the back, and we've got a box. So, without further ado, let's get this bad boy open. Box is open, and a bit of luck, it's the right figure. Right, so we'll start with the artwork, of course, and here is the VHS box in all its glory, with Smythe and Peter Parker on the front there. So, of course, Smythe's got his little sort of shoulder antenna, I suppose I could call them. He's in his sort of mutated form there. And you've got Peter Parker, of course, in his season 2 onwards sort of look, with the red sort of t-shirt and the greyish long coat. Not the green version, of course, of his sort of polo shirt, which I think I might have preferred to sort of earlier season look. So again, plastic-free packaging, it says on the bottom. And that's why you've seen some of my previous reviews. I think this is probably the best version of plastic-free packaging we can get with these VHS versions, because I like to display this, which I'll show you later on when we get to the toy room, and you'll see all the other boxes. So this will be going in the display. And of course, you don't have to buy two, because you don't need to have one mint on card, because you can't see the bloody figures. So at least that is changing, and the more preferred sort of retro cards are coming back next year. But there's the back of the box. We've just seen the side, all the legalese, and two renders of the figures. And there, of course, is the other side. Again with number 1 and 2, which is repeated in the line. It would have been nice to have sort of sequential numbers, but we are just down to the 1 and 2 again. Number 1 for the villain Smythe, and again Peter Parker on the other side, number 2. I like how they're facing each other on the artwork there, and the VHS font is the MVL for Marvel Legends, so that's kind of cool. So without further ado, let's get them out of the box. Everybody's favourite bit of the video now coming up is, of course, the hashtag time. It's hashtag flip open the flap. So when you've got them out of the box, you'll be presented with these absolutely outstanding cardboard coffins. Detect the sarcasm there. Yeah, so again, it doesn't look particularly professional, does it, when you get them out in these sort of little baggies, these sort of paper baggies and cardboard trays. So we'll be glad to see the back of these, but that's what they look like. And of course, there's little accessory baggies and things in there like this. So you do like to lose everything. And at the moment, all the accessories of G.I. Joe are coming out warped. So we'll have to see what happens on this, and will I have any gummy plastic? Let's hope I don't. So here we go. And here we are out of the packaging, and I'm pleased to report from a quick feel around, there's no gummy plastic, so that's a bonus compared to the Green Goblin set that you may have seen previously on the channel. Previously on Spider-Man, as they would say. Oh, actually, isn't that on X-Men? Did they both do it? I can't remember. So here is Peter Parker and Smythe out, and looking really, really good, to be honest with you. Again, massive memories for me of Spider-Man, the animated series, X-Men, the animated series, and of course Batman, the animated series. More to come on my potential Mondo collecting in 1/6 scale of all those animated series. But here we are with Marvel Legends then. So Smythe for the first time in plastic form that I can remember anyway, since way back in the original animated series line from Toy Biz itself. And it's really good to have Peter Parker with this animated look as well. It's actually invoking that animated series. The head sculpt is really good on this one. In terms of accessories, it's a pair of spare hands each, and Peter has a camera. So let's take a closer look then at these bad boys, and let's start with Peter Parker. And here is Peter then in the close-up shot, and looking really, really nice. First thing I've noticed is a bit of sculpting detail in the t-shirt sculpt there. That's really like they've sort of sculpted in some creases look really, really kind of quite cool, and I kind of like the animated look we're getting here. He's got a veiny forearm as well, and he's got the muscles coming out of our Peter. He's about to transform into Spider-Man for forearm muscles like that, or has he been doing some extracurricular activities at home? Mary Jane maybe not getting the job done there for our Peter. Dirty bugger. So there is that animated Peter Parker head sculpt, as I sort of try a bit of a panning around, as they say in the YouTube world there. But you've got the photoreal sort of printing on the eyes, and it does look really, really nice. His hair is actually a deeper brown, and I think it is coming through on camera. I think my bright sort of ring light here is making it look brighter than it actually is in person. So his hair is a bit more dark brown. Nice shoe sculpt there. I think that could potentially be a a new shoe mould. I'm not 100% sure, but there's a pair of whipping hands you do get, and of course the camera, which I'm assuming is reused from the retro carded sort of 1960s Steve Ditko Peter Parker, but you do get a bit of a more colouring on it. So really, really good head there. I can't emphasise how good this head is in the Marvel Legends scale. So I was trying to get Peter turned round. Can I do that without him falling over? Ooh, potentially I can. Let's see if we can zoom in so you get the back of his hair sculpt there. More sculpt work in the jacket, and yeah, he's looking pretty good, isn't he? Of course, completely pinless, as they like to say there. So that is good. Nice new sculpt here for Peter. So he's looking very impressive. Let's take a look at Smythe. And here he is, and it's the villain of the pack. It's Alistair Smythe himself in his mutated form, with that fancy hairdo, that flat top there, that mullet, if you will, the party in the back and the business in the front haircut. Looking really, really good, with a photoreal printing as well on him there. The only thing I'm not too keen on is the actual, they've painted in the pupils there. So on the actual box artwork, you'll see it's got solid yellow eyes with no pupils. And I think it might look a bit better like that. It just looks a bit too realistic, I think, with the pupils painted in. So if I was any form of a customizer, I might have a little go at that. If I try and move the camera around, you can see his newly sculpted shoulder antenna. I have no idea what to actually call them. Let me know in the comments below if you've got a better name for those. It's a newish looking body to me, but again, bodies are not my expertise there. But he is again completely pinless, and he's got the sculpted leg fins you can see in there. There is texturing detail in the actual in the legs themselves. You've got the fins on the forearms as well, and both are actually painted. So you've got the brown detailing on those fins, and you've got the blue detailing if I go down there, and his little feet with his two big toes sticking off. So he's looking really good so far. Let's see if I can give him the old swivel, turn him round, and you can see the back of that hairdo again coming through a bit brighter on camera, so it is darker brown than this if you get this fella in hand. There's the rear view of Smythe, his fancy perch cheats. Now he's been transformed after, of course, working for the Kingpin after the injuries to his father caused potentially by his own Spider Slayer. So he gets roped in to work for the Kingpin, but here he is in fully mutated form. So again, of course, they could do this fella with his hover chair in his human form. So I'd take pretty much anything from this animated series. So he's looking good. Now I suppose it's everybody's favourite bit of my videos, my attempt at articulation. Right, we'll start with, of course, the hero of the show, Peter Parker himself. So let's get my hands in here and see how we do. So head, we can do a full 360, so that's a start. We haven't got the pegs, we must have the dumbbell joint, the sort of WWE style joint. You can get a bit of the old Michael Myers tilt that way, and a bit of the Michael Myers that way. You're not getting a lot up though, and down. Not getting the greatest motion, if I was honest, on actually his head here, but that is probably because it's the type of dumbbell joint that it is. There's nothing at the bottom of the neck, so you're only getting a bit of head movement, but probably enough for Peter. In terms of arms, then again, you've got you can see potentially where the peg's sticking out there, so it probably could have been pushed up a bit further in the factory, but we can probably go up to a full T, I would assume. There we are, the full Mr. T. Let's give him a helicopter, Spider-Man helicopter. See what the channel gives you a Spider-Man helicopter. When we rotate those, we're probably going to have a double. Oh, we're not. We can have a single joint. I think we've got a single joint, ladies and gentlemen. I think this will be the first time I've done a video with a single joint, but you're not even getting 90. You're getting close, but not quite 90 on what I would call a single joint. You must have you have the swivel? Yeah, you've got like the WWE basics that have the swivel at the actual elbow there. And cool little details on the watch. So it's nice to have another watch in the line there. So that's what you're getting there. Looks like a standard ab crunch. Yeah, it gets a decent amount down there for your crunch. But the jacket's gonna, yeah, you're not gonna get absolutely nagged. As I like to say on the channel, another thing, shaggy shit all, as I used to say, out of the back there because of the jumper. The tracksuit. Words, what are words today, ladies and gentlemen? They are not coming out of me. I'm looking for jacket is the word I was looking for. Have we got a ball in there? No, there's no ball in the waist. You're just getting a swivel there. You've got thigh cut, of course. Spread your thighs. What have we got out there? Well, you've got a pretty decent range there for you. You can start to. Should we do some posing? Let's do live posing. Get a whipper on there. I could have almost I don't know, jumping off a wall pose for our Peter. But you get that there. You've got a drop down. Don't think you've got a drop down hip. That looks like a double. It's a bit stiff though. Yeah, it's a bit stiff on the bottom, and you're getting 90 out of that one without pushing it. You're not getting nothing there. Look at that. Not a thing. Completely fused. So they will move, but that's going to take a little bit of pressure or heat, I think, to move those. Ankle rocker and pivot, of course, down the bottom. So there's your articulation on Spider-Man. Straight into Smythe then. Okay, Mutant Monster Smythe. What do we got? We got a side. You've got a bit of side to side, but your mullet is hitting the antenna. I'm going to describe it as there, so you're not getting a lot side to side. We're getting more up than Peter, surprisingly, even with the mullet. But again, that's going to come down because they've used the old-fashioned peg there rather than the cleaner looking sort of ball joint thing. But I suppose, look at that, you get full bit of down there, and you've got a sort of back to back. You've got a sort of, I don't even know how to describe that without being filthy, but you've got one of those actions there. So a lot more movement, but then you've got to look at the net peg. So I suppose you have to choose aesthetic over movement. At the arms, we're going to come nice and stiff. We're going to come up to a full T, of course. Let's give him a reverse helicopter there. Look at that. That's a new thing. That's going to be a double, isn't it? That's got to be a double. There we go. Full double. We can have him hulking up. We do a bit of pose in here. Look at this. Look at that. We got Smythe doing the Hulk Hogan. What you going to do from Smythe there? But again, you can see the detailing actually sort of tampoed on there in the fins. Do these things move? I assume they do not. You can see how they're sort of just pegged in there and glued in. Standard ab crunch. Oh, say standard. You get a bucket ton there, but then you do get the weird looking bit at the back, which means you'll get that as well. So for those that like movement, you can. Oh, look at that. It's like Captain Planet. He's our hero. You could make a Captain Planet custom out of this fella, I'm telling you. Look at that. Hey, look at that. Flying Smythe. There you go. Don't we get that today? Get the waist. It's one of them. It's going to look weird when you do that because it's gonna stick out, isn't it? Full the old Jean-Claude Van Damme there. The Rob Van Damme to you wrestling fans. You can do the full split. Double again. Right, I've got stiff knees today. Stiff knees. They've all got arthritis in my legends this week. But on a bit of pushing, that's as much as you're getting on your double jointed knee and your standard little rocker. So that's articulation. Let's do some comparisons and then get these bad boys in the toy room. Right, I've been upstairs and found some Marvel Legends. So first thing we will do is pop in old school Steve Ditko Peter Parker there. So you can get a comparison of Peter to Pika. So you've got the Peter to Pika. That's a funny sounding sentence, isn't it? So you can see the camera actually. It's probably exactly the same if I pop the camera in there. Yeah, it is the same sculpt. You just got the purple bit and the yellow bit for the flash. We're getting different legs on this version of Peter because he is pinless, but you can see the height is pretty much the same there. Nothing you can compare Smythe to really, because there ain't a lot of Smythe out there. But here is an animated version of Spider-Man. So of course, shout out to figureclave.collectibles, old Adam Batman Moran, for sending that one over. So I had a loose one, so I can actually do this comparison. So that is animated Peter versus animated Spidey. Peter's a little taller by the looks of it. Might just be my posing, but I don't think it is. I think actually Peter's bigger than Spider-Man, so we might have a little bit of a scaling issue there, but I'm sure we can fudge that in perfectly fine. So that's what they look like compared to Peter and Spider-Man. So there's one thing left to do, probably the best bit of the video. Let's get them in the actual toy room itself and get them in the display. And here we are then in the toy room, deep in the heart of the Marvel Legends collection. So lots of movement in here recently. So you can see down the middle, the box has made its final position. I just need to find an X-Men box to go on the side. So there's the Peter and Smythe box and all the other boxes there from the Mary Jane Green Goblin, Doc Ock and Aunt May, all available on the channel. So cheap plug for myself there. So do go check out those videos if you want to see the rest of these animated figures. But let's get to them then. There they are, the animated Spider-Man Marvel Legends collection. Friends with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and X-Men, the animated series. As I've recently sort of done this top shelf to fully encompass the figures from there. So if I go past the pillar, you'll be able to see in there. And there is Peter Parker and Smythe himself in the collection. They've got a bit of blue light on in here, so that's why I have a bit of a blue tinge. But there's Doc Ock and the Green Goblin. Of course, this used to be my wardrobe, so you've got mint on card on the back. And then you've got the curtain pole there, or the clothes pole I should say, where the Green Goblin is hanging from. Doc Ock is kind of hanging, kind of balancing on his tentacles there. There is the classic Spidey and the symbiote Spidey. Venom have recently opened, he's in the back. And then we've got Mary Jane and of course Peter Parker himself there. Put the camera in Peter's hand, and Smythe has gone in the corner. Aunt May is hidden in there. I've used Scorpion as well. So they've come along quite nicely. So hopefully, Chameleon. We desperately need a Chameleon in 2024. So come on, Hasbro, give us Chameleon on a retro card. I'd love a Morbius as well. So let me know what animated Spider-Man characters you would like down in the comments below. But of course, this week, Mondo have announced that they are doing the 1/6 versions of Spider-Man the animated series, so I kind of lost my mind on that one, so I'm going to have to get these in 12" as well. That's going to get pricey. But here are the Marvel Legends Peter and Smythe 2-pack. Overall, very pleased with this one. Glad I picked it up, and of course Hasbro UK coming through with that quick shipping as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this one, and do subscribe for more. I am Jay. This has been Jay's Toy Collection UK, and of course, please like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.